Welcome, guys, to Metallidium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about this new album, this first EP. So, more things related to the metal world, starting to this question: how has you been during these crazy times? Because we are ending, I think, a pandemic, and we are starting a war. We are starting a war in Europe. So, who knows what happened the next couple of years? Alien invasion, the machines take powers. So, who knows?
Honestly,
Meteor.
Nothing would surprise me at this point. Whatever, I mean, it's going to happen regardless.
Right. No, we're doing good though. We survived the pandemic, thankfully. We're very thankful for our health. But we're here today and most importantly though, Javier, we're excited to be on your podcast.
Great. So what can you tell about this first EP, Lydia's Castle?
Yeah, so the first EP, it's very diverse. There's a song on there for everybody. You have some stuff that's kind of melodic. You have a little bit of heaviness to it. But it's, right on the rock, kind of metal. It rides that fine line, but it's a fun EP. There's literally, I feel like, something on there that everyone can enjoy.
Yep. Okay, well, this new EP has 5 songs. So for you, which is the best songs to interpret live? Because some artists prefer this a special one to do the new album, the EP live.
I would say, I don't know about you, but my favorite song to perform is Fading Away.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I think the most challenging one is Falling Into Place. It's usually the first song in our set. So right out the gate, we have to be ready. We have to be ready to play.
We always joke, we're like, hold on.
Yeah.
This is because the song takes off.
Yeah, it takes off. We're about to go for a ride. It's starting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and why do you decide to release an EP and not a whole album? Because sometimes it's much better to start with a great album and not an EP.
Sure. Yeah, it kind of depends on which way you look at it. I think the way that our perspective was to kind of start small and release a collection of songs that we know are good, just to start out, and we'll probably do a full-length album, in the future. I definitely would love to do that. But I think we're just getting started. I don't think it's uncommon for bands to release an EP before a full length,
right?
Based off of what I've seen. There's a lot of bands that take the songs from that EP and they include that on the full length record. Mm-hmm. So who knows? We might write another 5 or 6 songs and decide to package it all together. Who knows? I would prefer to kind of just write more music and just make another record. But
it's a singles world anyways. So, if we ever had the money to do a full length, we will. But right now, it's just, we're just pumping out content, Yep.
Just trying to write good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that you said, Tonya, is about now we are living in a world with just the people just pick singles, and they love to do with these singles the playlist in Spotify, then iTunes, etc. So for you, why the albums now doesn't have the same impact compared to the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and why now these in music industry are in the cyclic time? Because if you remember, the singles times was in the 40s and the 50s, when just singles and in the radios and this kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely kind of a pendulum if you think about it. It in the 40s and 50s, like you said, they had the singles, the little 45s, but I think that for a while we got experimental with our music, the 60s, 70s especially. We were just trying new things out and everybody wanted to hear everything. And it's easier when you don't have the internet, you know what I mean? I think nowadays with people wanting instant gratification,
and their time their attention span.
Well, their attention span's going down. So I think it's just we're kind of catering to how people like to digest music, really.
Yeah.
I would love to just release full-length records. I mean, that I listen to full-length records all the time. I listen to all the songs. I don't listen to just singles. I'm, to be honest, I'm not really even a fan of releasing singles. I kind of just like to release the record, but you got to do what you got to do, different times call for different strategies.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, and for you, the digital platforms or the digital era is good or bad for the music? Because now the people prefer to listen to music in all digital platforms, and they don't want to buy physical stuff. So, what is your opinion about now the digital era?
I think that it's all about your point of view. I think that the digital era does help you get your music out there to find more talent. I do think that with the attention span going down because so much music is out there, it can definitely, make making money off of music harder. Whereas like before the digital era, you would have to sell your product, and that was the only way people found out about music, was actually buying it. So there's the profit side of it without the digital era, then there's the promotion side of it.
It's good if you want to release your music to everybody. It's bad if you expect everybody to find you on the internet.
It's all about your point of view.
It's oversaturated, but
yeah.
it's just the way that things are. I think it's good and bad. Same as if we didn't have the internet. Before you had the internet, you had to have a record deal for,
Right.
A lot of people to really know who you were. So, and now you don't need that. So I would say it's probably a lot cheaper. So I think the internet probably made it cheaper for music distribution. It just made it oversaturated, I would say.
Correct. Yeah.
So talking now, returning to this new EP, what are you selecting into the cover art? Two dopes, because I saw two dopes into there when a hand into there. What is the exactly meaning of the cover art? Because I'm trying to relate the music as rock with some other styles into there, but when I see the covers like more perhaps a new age music, or perhaps more ambient music for the cover art.
Yeah, I think the cover art was just something that, it's kind of like when you see it, you just kind of know that is what it needs to be. And each person in the band probably looked at it in a different light. But for me, it was about releasing something new. There's a lot of different ways that you could look at the cover art and interpret it. But for me, it was of letting go of something, maybe of freeing your lyrics into the world, your music into the world. What about for you?
Yeah, I think it's symbolic of us releasing something out into the world, kind of.
Life.
I think it's symbolic of that, I would say. I kind of leave art up to interpretation.
Correct, yeah.
Of the beholder. It's whatever you want it to be. Same as a song. I mean, nobody knows what Bohemian Rhapsody was written about, but everybody has their own ideas, or Stairway to Heaven. No one truly knows what that's about, but everyone has their own interpretation. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I love to ask this kind of question, because when a band has a female fronted, a lot of playlists, a lot of merchandise is going around the female fronted into all media. So what is your opinion about the band is more focusing for the female fronted than the music, because according to the merchandise, as you can see in YouTube Music, in Apple and iTunes, you can see the titles of the female music fronted, etc. So what is your think about this? About this merchandise around just the woman?
Well, I think that for the longest time, and I don't want to speak on behalf of Tonya, but just from what I've noticed, I think that females have been notoriously held back in a lot of different industries. And I think now that everyone's really excited finally to celebrate women, I think that's part of it. It's kind of years and years of making up for lost time. You know what I mean? So men have had have had a shot since the beginning of time, and I think the women are finally kind of put in the spotlight. So I think there's a craze about that, but I think mainly it's just about good music. It's about a different style of music. There's a ton of guys singing on the radio, and there's a good amount of women now singing on the radio now. But I don't know. I think it's just exciting times. It's a new era of life. People are excited.
Very well said.
Okay. Now, talking about this again from this new EP, what are the future plans that the band has for this new EP? Perhaps a North American tour, perhaps more videos upcoming, or perhaps who knows in the near future in 2023 or 2024, an European tour, or perhaps a Latin American tour. Who knows?
We would love
to.
That.
Yeah.
So much.
We definitely are doing some touring in the United States. But I would love to play internationally, just play, anywhere and everywhere, anybody that'll have us.
Yes.
Okay. So talking again over this new album, I love to ask one question. All musicians that they played it, that one, all kind of music, and perhaps do you hear about something about synesthesia?
I'm sorry, you cut out. What was that?
Do you hear something about synesthesia? Okay, if you don't, I will explain you. The synesthesia is the feeling of the sensation when a person sees colors when they hear music. They smell odors.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
So Jimi Hendrix was like that.
Yes. They smell odors. They feel taste in his mouth to see what kind of these sensations has for the music. So relating to these aspects. So what kind of odors, what kind of smells and tastes and colors that the listeners will find into this Lydia's castle?
Man, I mean, if I'm playing, I don't see colors or anything like that, but I know I don't really see anything. I'm probably looking at something, but I kind of black out a little bit and just go based off the feeling of how my body feels. I do get sensations when I play. But yeah, I don't know.
I would say that like if they were to see colors, it would maybe be colors of like that give you hope, like warm colors. Part of Lydia's castle is about, encouraging people to build their own castles, or when they go through hard times, that they find a light at the end of the tunnel. So I hope that like if they were to see any kind of colors or to feel any kind of way or to taste any kind of things, it would be taste of comfort and just a feeling of comfort as well.
Okay. Well, sometimes it's very difficult to answer this question because when I asked in the past other musicians, they told me that some people smell like the coffee in the morning. Other people say chocolate or chocolate. It's kind of it's very ambiguous questions to know how.
Yeah. I don't think art would be like one particular thing. It would just be, like a place of comfort,
Okay. Well, we are close to this interview for this question and how do you select the singles when you have an EP? Because the EP has 5 songs and you release three singles. So how do you select which single is the best one to present this new EP when the EP has 5 songs?
That's a great question.
I think you just listen to them and you find the song that kind of fits, kind of encompasses everything about the band, has a little bit of every side of us. And we picked the first single, which was Phoenix, because it had it had a really cool riff, it had a solo, it had an ambient part, it had great lyrics, had a powerful vocal melody, had big drums, big bass, it
showed all sides
of us.
And then Falling Into Place, which was the next one, was just kind of like that chick that can hang with the guys. Like it just really, it's like your female slave to the grind. Like it's very much a song that, hold on, it's about to take off. And then the next song that we chose, Search for You, that was to us our home run song. It really was the song that spoke to us the most as a band. Not to say that the other two aren't great. What Comes Around is a very fun, rhythmically fun song to play. And then Fading Away is just a real heavy song. It's my personal favorite song on the whole EP. But that's kind of how we chose the songs and which order to release them in.
Okay, perhaps do you want to add something for this to this new EP? Perhaps something special you want to share about this new EP to all Latin American, all your new Latin American fans?
Yeah, I would say like for this EP, something to add is, they taught this EP it talks specifically about real life situations. So if you're going through a hard time or something difficult and you're looking for just like some kind of hope, I hope that you guys, when you listen to it, you find that in the lyrics and you're not alone and there is a light at the end of the tunnel that you're going through.
Okay. Well, Cody and Tonya, it was a pleasure to talk with you. The end of this interview arrived. It's a sad times. So I hope you enjoyed this one as I did. And congratulations for the EP. It's a great one. It's a big stunt into the rock. So perhaps do you want to add something to your new Latin American fans and Metalerium followers?
We do, yes. You can find anything about Lydia's Castle on lydiascastle.com. We have all links to our socials, our music videos, music, photos, merch, tour dates, tickets,
everything.
Anything that you're looking for Lydia's Castle, you can go to lydiascastle.com and find it.